We'll edit all the other stuff out.
Yep.
Okay. Hi, I'm Steve Hefter. Here interviewing Tab Benoit right before he hits the stage at the Birchmere in Alexandria, Virginia. Doing an interview for loudguitars.com. And Tab, thanks a lot for taking a few minutes of your time for me, for our subscribers, our readership. I'd like to just ask you a few questions, mainly about what kind of gear you use. I know you don't use a lot, which is actually kind of interesting. I saw you last year, and I know you have 3 Telecasters you use primarily.
Yeah.
And why the Telecasters, and why no effects?
Well, I mean, firstly, the guitars I use are because of really just trying to match the sound I heard in my head. When you're playing guitar, you're trying to find something that matches what you're hearing. So it's not frustrating when you're trying to make something come out and it doesn't work. And a lot of guitars that I had played before, it was just something that they weren't doing that I heard and I was trying to get out and it wouldn't come out. And I played a friend of mine's. I didn't even know that a Telecaster thin line existed. And a friend of mine had one and brought it to a jam session and I played it and that's it.
That was the one?
Yeah, well, and he wouldn't sell it to me. It was his dad had a Fender dealership back in the 70s, and it's the only thing that they kept from the whole dealer when they sold it. They kept this guitar, and he would not sell it to me for anything because it was like a family heirloom. So I had to go look for one, and found one in Houston, and then then I just went and found spares. I don't have different guitars for different sounds or tones or anything. It's just basically so I don't have to change all my settings, when I plug in another guitar. So that way if I bust a string, plug another one in, it's ready to go.
Yeah, which I saw you do last year, and you threw that thing aside and kept jamming.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of strings do you use?
GHS 11s,
And what amp are you playing through?
Playing through Category 5s. They copied my 65 Twin and 65 Super, so it's basically a Twin and a Super, but a lot better built and a lot more sturdy for the road, and they did a great job. I mean, I wouldn't use them if they didn't work.
Is that a signature series? Is it
yeah, the signature series, and part of the profits from the sale of those amps goes back to Voice of the Wetlands, which is the nonprofit organization that I've been working with and started back in '04. So.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it was a good idea that the guy came up with after Katrina. This guy came up to me and said he wanted to build amps for all of the Voice of the Wetlands guys, and said, well, that's cool, but it's got to work. I mean, it's a great idea, but if they don't work, I can't use them.
But they made one that worked.
Yeah, he made 2 of them that worked, so, and they went back and forth with me, and, if it wasn't right, they made it right, and, the main thing was to try to get an old sound out of a new amp, I didn't want it to sound like a brand new Super. I wanted it to sound like an old one, like it had been worn in, because I don't use pedals, that's a big deal,
Well, yeah.
So, they did a great job with it.
Yeah, you're one of the few guitar players I've seen in years and years that plugs directly into the amp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the sound that you get is amazing.
That's why.
It works.
People forgot that, every time you run your guitar through something else and back into that amp source, you're taking a piece of that original signal away to substitute something else in there. And I'd rather the direct connect. It's more about it with the way it feels than the way it sounds. And my thinking on that is the sound is a byproduct of the feel, not the other way around. So I want it to feel right. If it feels right, it sounds right. And the only way to really get a good feel of what's happening is to be directly plugged in. And I can feel the back of the room. I can feel the sound bouncing off of people's faces. It really does work.
That's one my favorite quotes from the show you played last year. I saw you at.
What's that?
Yeah, you said, it just doesn't sound right. Try practicing with no one in the room. And then you said you need to have people.
Yeah.
You bounce it off their face.
That's right.
Yeah.
That works. Because there is a sound with that.
Yeah, I love that quote. So when did you finally get that sound that you were looking for? How long did it take? Because you've been playing for a while.
I'm still working on it. it's all just about trying to get what you're feeling out through the instrument.
But you found the blues, like, many years ago. You were trying to do
Yeah.
something different before you really found the blues.
Well, I mean, I was playing whatever gigs was coming around. I didn't have my own band, I mean, when you first start out, you're playing in other people's bands, and whatever music they're picking to play, that's what you play. You get hired to play guitar for a country band, you got to play country all night. You get hired to play in a rock band, you got to play rock. So, when I started my own band, the first band I started was a blues band.
Mhm.
That's what I felt like I should be doing. That's the stuff that I love more and had more of those elements that I liked, which is just stripped down, play the feeling of the moment that's going on right now, and try to make the audience, join in that feeling of that moment,
Yeah.
by what you're giving them through your instruments.
And the audience appreciates it too.
Yeah, and I think I think you continuously get better at that if you're doing that. I mean, you have to be working on that instead of working on trying to come up with fancy licks and things, tricks and stuff. I work on trying to make sure that what I'm feeling in the moment right now is coming out, and that never really happens. So it always gives you something to strive for.
So you're always working at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what keeps you interested, and it keeps you engaged. I mean, if I'm not interested and engaged, I can't expect the audience to be either.
Yeah.
So it's an important aspect, I think. And all the guys I loved, I mean, that's how they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, John Lee Hooker and Lightning Hopkins and guys like that, they walked in and they played one time and they gone. Hope you caught it while they were playing it, because that was it.
Albert Collins
in the studio and live and everything. It was always, this is it right now. Boom.
Tell me about writing. How's that process for you? I read a little blurb. You and Anders Osborne out on the bayou.
Yeah.
You came back with 7 songs after your little trip.
Yeah, a couple nights, and I mean, that's where I always did all my writing, was just to get away from, the mainland, and get out on the water, and get out in the swamp, and there's songs out there, so I just go out there and get them, and that's the first time I really did any real co-writing with somebody else, and it was just a good timing for it, Anders was going through some things and was just getting back to, his goal, and I hadn't done a record in a while. I hadn't written any songs since Katrina, really.
This is for medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was like a few years that passed, and I had lost my camp, which is where I do all my writing in the storm. So I just got my camp going again, and so let's just go do it, and it just flows real easy out there. It's just writing is I don't write 100 songs and pick the best 12. I write 11 and and that's all you're getting. Yeah. But I'm not gonna haggle over something that doesn't come easy.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't come easy, then it's not comfortable and it's not gonna flow, and the audience ain't gonna get it, and you're not gonna get it, and I don't. And every night you got to play those things. And if you're not happy with it,
it's a waste of time.
Yeah. You're wasting everybody's time. So, I try to keep it as simple as possible and let the songs pretty much write themselves.
Who's out there now that you look up to that's playing?
Like right now?
Yeah, who's out there?
I don't know.
There's not a lot. I mean, that's why I'm here to see you tonight.
Well, there ain't a lot of people doing it this way. I tell you that. And I mean, this is this is what I thought was the way. Was strip it down here. You're an artist. And these are your paintbrushes, and you're going out there and you're painting a picture. And you don't want to watch somebody paint by numbers. So all these different tricks and everything that you come up with to try to invent something and then you practice it and rehearse it until you got it perfect. To me, that's just painting by numbers. You come out there, you see them today, you see them tomorrow, you're gonna see the same picture.
Yeah.
I always thought that, especially in the blues world, that you should be capturing a moment for what it is, good or bad or indifferent, doesn't matter. That's the moment, capture it for what it is in music. and that should be good artwork, you know, period. You know, and everybody will get it. It's not like you're gonna go over anybody's heads, because everybody's involved in that moment, you know, together. So, you know, that, to me, that was the way that I thought music should be done.
Mm-hmm. Have you put out a live album with just the trio? Mm-hmm. With just the trio?
Every time we do a live album, you know, any album really, there's always some kind of special guest that come up.
Right.
I mean, there's trio songs on those live albums, but you know, it's always something that, you know, a record label thinks that, you know, a trio record ain't gonna work or something. You know, a lot of times that's what it comes down to. But you know, whatever, I don't care. I mean, I like to play. I like to play with my friends also. You know, and I have no problem with that. And none of those things are ever rehearsed out. It's all natural, and
yeah,
you know, this is the way it is. Boom, play it, and you know, hopefully everybody gets it. But usually they do.
Yeah, usually they do. At least when I've seen it, they're getting it, and we're looking forward to getting it tonight.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to share with our audience out there?
I mean, as far as what?
Anything you might want to say to them? Guitar playing in general? You know, any tips for guitar players?
Well, I mean, you know, the biggest tip I think that I could give them is, you know, don't worry about the left hand so much. You know, don't worry about the notes and the chords so much. You know, the right hand is where the feel comes from. You know, I mean, I do stuff on a guitar where I'm not using any notes, where I'm just blocking the strings and beating it like a drum. You know, I mean, you know, playing those washboard effects on there. I mean, that has no notes to it, but there's feel to it, you know, and it makes the music feel a certain way, and that's what I think a lot of people miss, because it's frustrating to learn all of this and get your fingers coordinated where every note comes out when you play a chord, and when you get frustrated, you know, you're not learning anything. So a lot of times I'll just tell people, hey man, you know, take one day where you just forget about learning something with your left hand, learning chords and notes and how to put them together, and just sit there and pick a rhythm that's easy to play and play it for a while. Play it for an hour. Try to make it feel like it's moving. You know,
put some passion into it.
Yeah, I mean, close your eyes. You know, stop looking.
That's good advice, I think.
And just make it feel like it's moving. And when it feels like it's moving, you have a better chance of pulling off the other stuff with your left hand. You know. Because it's got to move to be musical. If it doesn't move, it's just a straight line, and nobody's buying straight lines.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
That's good advice. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to let you do what you need to do before the show.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much. And that's it for the interview. I was hoping if I could get a